Hey guys, I don't know why my camera is zooming in so much, but I hope you guys can see this pretty well. Um, I haven't made a video in a while, but I wanted to, with the new year ending very soon, I wanted to kind of recap on some philosophies that can actually help you kind of bring things more into balance and give you some clarity in what your mission is, help you with your day to day, with your external environment, staying on track, staying on your path, and some ideas that some things that I've been going through that kind of tie in, and hopefully you can take away some of this. And a lot of this topic has to do today with patience. And what is your path and how to get back on track or how to keep staying forward. And so pretty much, you know, I'm a pretty patient guy, and I feel like a lot of you guys might be very patient. But patience has its place in the world. I believe that for me, patience has always played a role with people, staying patient in sales, staying patient with helping others, and the things that you want. But patience doesn't have its role in progress per se, right? Patience has its place in the direct moment, but when it comes to starting that business, performing, it really takes action, not patience. And if you're sitting around waiting too long for something to happen, whether it's something or somebody to come through, you're not going to see what you want come to fruition. So the first thing you need to do is understand where in your life patience needs to reside and where it does not, right? And so if it comes to, something that you're trying to get to, whether it's a goal or overcome a challenge, odds are it's not going to come down to patience to get it resolved. So, one, create action, figure out what those actions need to be, figure out also, right, where patience lies in your life and where it does not, figure out where action needs to take place for things to happen, right? Um, Create accountability. Create like this sense of getting out of patience, right? Get this sense of committing to action, committing to wanting for yourself, right? Committing to making those actions and figuring out why you haven't made them yet, and understand more of that process that you're going through to create those actions or to not create those actions. Figure out why you're not making them, because we can sometimes default into patience, right? We can default into doing nothing, and we know what happens when you're not moving forward. You're going backwards, right? And so we want to prevent that, right? And so you need to get involved with action, however that takes shape. And something that I kind of coined, repeat, visibility, and adoption, right? It kind of goes with the philosophy of, you opt in for an advertisement after like 15 or 20 different times of seeing an ad, right? If you bring into your visibility in your life the actions that you need to do, always constantly reminding yourself of what you need to do, what needs to happen, right? You'll eventually adopt those behaviors, or you'll adopt those thoughts more frequently, as opposed to not, right? As opposed to not participating in putting things in your life that are going to help you move forward, right? Again, we default to just kind of seeing what's around us in our reality, right? If you want to move forward in something, complete a goal, you need to create just little things in your life that's going to contribute to the mindset that's going to help you move forward towards those goals, towards whatever that you're trying to do, right? Because patience has its place in holding down the fort. Patience is a defensive move, right? Patience comes after the action, right? And so that's kind of what all I have to say about that. But patience does have a role in this action versus patience. Patience is on the other side. Patience is when you've created the action and you're either strategically waiting for something to happen, which is not a very long period of time, or you're waiting it out, right? So there's reasons to be patient, but not necessarily to be in that mode more than a majority of the time. It's the minority, and the minority has its purpose, right? So figure out what kind of ratio you're giving patience to action, right? And I wanted to touch up on a little story I had recently. Somebody was kind of infringing their own path on mine, and I thought it was funny because by default we all have our own path, we all have our own purpose in life, and it's funny to me that people can think so binary that because you may be on the same path, even though it might be just for a moment in time, they think that because there's an alignment, it's the same path, right? Whereas, hopefully you have the capacity to see beyond that, right? That we intersect with other people and careers for only a certain amount of time, and that hopefully you do have an overall goal or path that you're trying to follow. And so, what is your path, right? Do you understand or know what your path is? Do you trust it? Do you want to be on it? Do you know what it is? A lot of people have a hard time staying on their own path, whether it's a purpose or it's a mission or it's a choice you've made, right? People get in the way of the things that you've chosen because they think they know better, right? And so the idea is that you know what's best for you, one, and you know that if you choose something, there's a reason that you chose it at that time, right? It's about not apologizing. I don't believe in apologizing. If I made a decision in the past that I thought was the best choice at the time, I'm sticking with it in the present moment because the past me thought it was the best thing to do. So why am I going to try and rationalize my past thoughts when I should be focusing on rationalizing my present for the future thoughts, future moments? So figure out your roadmap. Figure out what your path is, right? It's going to be a lot easier to keep yourself motivated and inspired and on the same path that you want, and for you to be able to freely choose what you want to do on your path. Because, dude, roadmaps are going to change, right? You can want to do one thing and then find out that there's 5 other branches that you can, kind of opt in and see where those branches lie. There's no set roadmap. Your roadmap is a huge map that it hasn't been discovered. Whether you think you want to, start one business or, be friends with one person or save up X amount of money, right? On the journey, on that roadmap, you're going to discover things that were originally grayed or blacked out. And then that's going to change your perception of the roadmap. It's going to readjust the roadmap. And so you have to settle less for the people that don't see roadmaps as dynamic and as static, right? There are people who are going to see roadmaps as static. They're on their path, they see you on yours, and they have input for whatever reason. And if it's not to motivate you, it's to take you away, it's to take you off that roadmap. So just remember that. There's a dynamic way of seeing paths in your roadmap, and there's a static way of seeing it, right? There's people who see it in a binary kind of way. There's people that see it as, you know what, life isn't linear, right? Things happen, things change, right? Kind of like that maze that changes every 10 seconds, right? And that's your roadmap. Now, it's not to say that if you have the strategy in place and you see it from A to Z, right, that doesn't mean that you're not going to fulfill those, that logic from A to Z. It just means that life is dynamic, and you may find that you may strategically see something and rearrange a thing or two to make that roadmap a little bit more clear to get to your goal, whatever that goal is. And so don't let people infringe on your path. Make sure you know your roadmap. Figure it out. Discover it. Discover what your mission, your purpose, whatever your roadmap is to whatever it is, and have confidence in it. Right? Be uplifted by the fact that you have a roadmap and that you're trying to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. Right? If people are infringing on your roadmap, they're just probably seeing it in a static way, and that's totally fine. But with static thinking, you only get so far, right? You're just rummaging around within the box you create for yourself, right? Be a dynamic roadmap thinker, right? Remember that things are going to change. Things are subject to change based off of life situations, based off of exploring your roadmap. Things change, and that's totally fine. Life's a journey, and you should always be able to adapt to the roadmap, right? And you think you want goal number 1, but upon journeying on the roadmap, you realize that a goal number 2 emerges, right? So now you have like 2 goals, and then you figure out what those 2 goals mean to you, right? So it's all about adapting to your own needs, right? And fulfilling these things with action. So I hope you like this quick little video, guys. I hope it meant something to you. If you need to reach out, please subscribe, write some comments down below. I got a form set up, so if you want to get in touch with me for whatever reason, you know, you got plenty of outlets to figure out how to communicate with me. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.